Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, or welcome if this is your first time. You guys have no idea how excited I am about making budget videos again and about making videos again in general. I've been gone from YouTube for almost 6 months now, and I feel like with budgeting it's probably even longer than that, especially cash stuffing videos, but I'm just so excited to get these videos started again. I didn't plan on having a long break, but there was just so much going on. We moved, my kids started a new school, and yeah, we've been out of town a lot, and yeah, there was just a lot happening, but I'm so excited about changing my setup, having everything new and ready to go for 2024, but it's still 2023 and we are starting them back up in November. So yeah, if you want to see my new setup with my new cash binders, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Okay, I haven't been making videos like this in a long time, so I might be a little bit out of it. I feel like if you make videos, you can relate. If you take like a break, even if it's just a few weeks, you kind of get out of a rhythm, if that makes sense. So if I'm like all over the place, I apologize, but this is still like I'm still getting used to this again. But anyways, as you can see, I have some stuff here. First things first, I have a ton of cash envelopes, okay? This is a lot. And if you've never watched any of my videos before, which I did also archive a lot of videos just because I'm going with like, a different aesthetic here. And I just didn't really like the old videos anymore. So I changed up some things, but yeah, if you've never seen any of my older budget videos, which my first ever budget video was like with cash envelopes was like 3 years ago, but that video is definitely archived. Yeah, if this is your first time, you probably think like, oh my gosh, why do you have so many envelopes? Like, yes, this might be the first video you come across of mine with envelopes, but I'm not new to envelopes. So I've been doing this for a few years, and I've definitely have widened my horizon when it comes to the amount of categories we have. You obviously do not need that many categories, but I just love categories, different categories so much, and break everything down, which I will talk about all these categories in a second. But yeah, this is a stack of my envelopes. I've made these myself. I rounded the edges. I don't know if you can see. I rounded the edges just on the side where the holes are, and then I left the opening as is. I don't know, I just like the look. And then I went with a very, very minimal, simple font. Again, if you're new to my channel, I do have a sticker shop, so I just used a font that I use in my shop, and because I already had it, so that's the font I decided to go with, and I just wanted them to be so simple. So yeah, I've made all of these myself because I needed them fast and I needed a lot of them. I know obviously if you purchase cash envelopes, from a small business, it can take a little bit, obviously, because there is a processing time, and that's totally fine. I have a sticker shop, I know how that goes, but like I said, I just needed them really fast, and as you can see, a ton of them, as I said like 1,000 times, so I just made them myself. I've made a lot of things myself. I have some placeholders here as well. I just have a $1,000, a $500, and a $100 one. And then I also have my cash breakdown sheet right here, which I had one. I made myself one in the past, but I've made a new one. And this is, again, super simple. I feel like it's a nice size to give to the teller, so it's not too small, So I got that, and I also made myself some budget sheets that just have like the rounded corners, and again, super simple. I wanted everything to be as simple as possible. I love, when it comes to like memory planning with my stickers and stuff, I love, going all out and having all the shiny and colorful stuff. But when it comes to my everyday life and things like that, I just want everything to be simple these days. So that's why I made all of these myself, and I don't have enough room over here anymore. But let me show you the binders, which I am so excited about. So I do have this binder right here. I've been having this binder. This is just a binder from Amazon, which was very affordable, but I don't know if you can tell, but it already started cracking right here. So I still am going to use this binder just for, like, you know, savings or something, like where I don't have to open it all the time. But this is the inside. It's a really nice binder, and I mean, it works. But yeah, I purchased some new binders, and these are planners from Printpression, and this is the personal size planner. I don't know who started this whole thing of budget binders being A6 size, because in the planner world, the personal size planner and A6 planner are not the same. But this is a personal size planner by Printpression. I love the snap closure. It's adjustable, so you know, if your planner gets thicker, you can use a different closure right here. And then this is the inside. You have 3 card slots right here, and then side pockets as well. You get more card slots in the back. You have a zipper pouch right here, and then the rings are pretty big. I think they're 30 millimeters. It's between 25 and 30, I'm pretty sure. So you have plenty of room there, which I like. And then you also have this big pocket in the back for either receipts or, you know, whatever you want to use it for. But these are really, really nice quality. I'm not new to Printpression. I've never had any of their ring planners, but I had other items from their shop before, and I'm just really, really excited about these planners. There were a few planners I had my eye on, or binders, but you know, budget binders can be a little bit pricey, and Printpression had a sale, so I needed at least 3 of them. That's why I purchased them all from Printpression. And I just picked them up in black, in gray, and then I did add a mauve color for, you know, a little bit of a pop of color here since everything else is like so neutral, which this color can still be neutral. I think the camera picks it up a little bit lighter than it is in person, but it's a really, really pretty mauve color. So yeah, these are going to be my 4 main binders, and I am still going to get an A7 like everyday type of wallet, but I have my eyes on a couple that have not been released yet from 2 small businesses, so I'm going to wait until they release them, and then I will, you know, purchase one of them. But for now, these are our main binders. So I think, let me make some room first, because this all looks cute, but it's not very functional. Like, it doesn't give me a lot of space to work with. But I gotta pull these first. I think these are the first categories right here. And these are my daily cash categories. So daily cash for me is, you know, categories that are not fixed expenses, but these are the categories that I budget for a lot, like a lot of money. And our main categories, basically, these are like categories that we need to kind of get through our day-to-day life, if that makes sense. So first up, we have groceries. That is self-explanatory. Next up, we have household. That is for cleaning supplies and toilet paper, paper towels, all of that stuff. We have gas. We also have eating out, again, self-explanatory. Then we have kits, which kits is a new to us category, but I just wanted to have an envelope for miscellaneous spending for the kids. You know, whenever they see something in the store, my kids are spoiled, okay? But whenever they see something in the store, you know, if it's like a little toy or something, or like candy, I don't know, but just like miscellaneous random things. I wanted to have a specific category for that. Then we have a spending category that is always miscellaneous spending for my husband and I. I have family fun. I used to call this entertainment, I believe. Pretty sure I did. But I decided to just go with family fun because, you know, it sounds a little bit better in my opinion. Next up, we have Cairo. That is our dog, and this is for his dog food as well as his treats. And then this is also a new to me category, or new to us category. This also has a couple of dollars in here, but this is for tips specifically. I usually would always just take the money from eating out and use, money from there for tips. But it has, like, if we go to a restaurant as a family of 5, our bill can be like $70 or more. And then obviously we do tip well. So, it can be up there. So I feel like having a separate category just for tips is going to come in very handy. And then the last one in here is just back to the bank or back to bank. That is just, whenever I have to take money out of my envelopes and take it back to the bank. And I think I also have one of these zipper pockets over here. I'm just going to put one of these in the back, just in case I need to store something in there. You never know. But these are all of our daily cash categories. I'm going to add my cards and stuff in the front, since this is kind of going to be my wallet until I get my A7, or I'm just going to pull out money here to put into my regular wallet. Next up, I'm going to use the gray one for our short-term sinking funds, which I know a lot of people call them high priority and low priority sinking funds. But for me, short-term and long-term makes a little bit more sense. The reason being, for short-term sinking funds, I consider funds that I reach for more often, and they don't really have a time limit. They don't really have huge amounts, if that makes sense. Whereas to long-term sinking funds for me are either categories that where I have a certain goal in mind, or that have a certain date, which you will see in a second what I mean by that, in case I don't make sense to you, which that can happen. Let me say, I love that these are they just stay open, because they're like soft, and I just love that. I don't have to mess around with them. But let me pull these categories from over here. Excuse the noise in the back. Apparently my kids all just woke up. I'm filming this on a Saturday, so everyone is at home. But that is just how it is over here. But here are our short-term categories. So I made a category called around the house, and that is a new category for us. But those little things that you need around the house, but you don't really think about them. For example, like batteries, light bulbs, and all that good stuff. So I have made a category for that, because I don't want to have like miscellaneous spendings like that, because batteries can be expensive. And with like my shop stuff as well as my kids, I have so many things that needs batteries. Like we need a ton of batteries. So yeah, there's that. Then we have auto care, which that used to be car maintenance, but I felt like auto care sounds a little bit better, so I named that. Next up, we have back to school. Back to school is not just school supplies. That is everything that has to do with school for my boys. I have 2 currently in school. Next year is going to be 3. But there's just a lot going on in school, okay? They take pictures like multiple times throughout the year. They have field trips. They have candy cards. They have donations. They have school shirts and all of that stuff. So I thought, I'm just going to have one big envelope for all of these things, because I always have to pay double since I have 2 in school. And it's nice to, have a fund for that. Next up, I have beauty. That is not just my makeup. That is also for my husband and my boy's haircut. But I didn't really feel it's necessary to separate those categories. I don't know if my husband appreciates it being in the beauty category, but whatever. He doesn't really look at these envelopes. It's mainly me, and then I just give him the money, but Anyways, birthdays, that is more for immediate family, so my kids, my husband, and I. Then I have clothing for myself, which is Jana. And then I have clothing for my husband, whose name is Ryan. I have a gifts category that is for, birthdays for everybody else, as well as weddings, baby showers, and all that good stuff. We're at that age where there's a lot of that happening. Next up is holidays. That is a new to us category. I've never had a holidays category before, but I feel like it's definitely kind of necessary to have, you know, for Thanksgiving, if you cook or if you bring food. And then also like seasonal decor. I do have a home decor envelope. Excuse my boys. They're just going absolutely nuts right now. But I do have a home decor category, but this is kind of like separate, you know, for seasonal decor as well. I kind of wanted to have that separate, and here is the regular home decor category. I absolutely love home decor so much. I can redecorate probably like twice a month, but I don't know if my husband would appreciate that. But I have a fund now for, you know, my little decor shopping sprees. And then I also have kids' clothes that is separate from our clothes, and I could also have called it clothing and then, you know, how I did with our names, but I don't know, for kids' clothes I like it this way better. I'm just weird like that. Next category is pet care. As you saw in my daily cash envelopes, I do have a Cairo category that is specifically for his food and treats. And then pet care is if he ever has to go to a boarding when we're out of town and no one from our family can watch him, or, you know, if he needs to go to the groomer, get his nails cut, stuff like that, because he will not for the life of me let me cut his nails. Like even trim, like with the, you know, not the cutter, but the other thing that you can use, like a file. Like he would not let me go near them whenever he sees some type of device. He's fine if I just want to touch them, but I don't know. He's weird like that. Anyways, next up is school lunches. My boy started a new school, so this school is not a private school, but they do have to pay for their lunches. So I started making lunches for them in the mornings, but we do get the menu in advance. And, you know, sometimes they have like pizza days or Chick-fil-A days and stuff like that. So they can always choose if they want a school lunch or not, but I need funds for that because, you know, with 2 kids, they can be pricey. So I have a category for that now, and I wanted that to be separate from all the other school stuff. Then we have skincare. I'm a skincare junkie. I can't help it. I love makeup, but I also love skincare. I love skincare probably more than makeup. I don't know. I love trying new things, and I really love taking care of my skin. So I needed this category. Next up is stationery. Again, I own a sticker shop. I love stickers. I love pens. Like the amount of pens I have is kind of ridiculous, but I mean, that's just what I like, okay? That is my hobby as well, and I just love all things stationery, so I wanted an envelope for that to kind of keep that a little bit, you know, under control. And then the last category in this binder is toiletries. That is self-explanatory. As a family of 5, I feel like this is a really good category to have. So yeah, this is a lot of envelopes in here, but like I said, these will not have like a ton of money in them. These will, you know, mainly just have like, I don't know, under $200 per envelope, maybe a little bit more, probably more. It depends on the category, but these are not going to be huge amounts, and we are going to pull from them more frequently than the other envelopes. Okay, moving on to our next binder, which is going to be the Mauve binder, and that is going to be for all of our long-term sinking funds, which, as I mentioned earlier, long-term sinking funds are either categories where I have a certain end goal in mind when it's going to be fully funded, or a certain date. So we will see that in a second. Let me just pull these categories out. I think that is going to be it. If you hear something in the background, it's my dog. It's either my kids or my dog. But the first category here is admin care, so like administrative care. And I saw another cash stuffer do this or have this category, and I thought it was a really good idea because, in case you didn't know, I'm actually a foreigner. I'm a green card holder. So I am Filipino, but I was born and raised in Germany, so my citizenship is German, and I've moved to the States in 2016. So I've been here for a while. I could have had my US citizenship already, but I don't really want to. It's a lot of paperwork and a big process of trying to have both citizenship, and it's actually harder to keep my German one than it is to get the US one. So I don't really want to get rid of my German one because it also gives my kids a German citizenship, so they do have dual citizenship. And yeah, I just don't really want to give up my German one. Like I said, they're not really advantages, I still have to pay taxes. Green card holder just means that I gave up my residency in my home country and I am a permanent resident here in the States. So I am allowed to work and I still have to pay taxes. So there are not really advantages of being a green card holder. So yeah, but there comes a lot with that. My green card personally is good for 10 years. So I have to renew mine in 3 years now, or like almost 2 years. And then you need to pay for that. That is quite expensive. So I'm going to start accumulating money for that, as well as my kids need new passports. They need the German one as well as the US one because we are planning on going to Germany next year. So I need their passports. And if you have dual citizenship, they need their German passport to go to Germany, and they need the US one to come back home. So yeah. This is a lot of passports we have to travel with, but yeah, they cost a lot of money. I have 3 kids, so that can add up really fast. The German one is actually cheaper than the US one for kids, but obviously they will last a couple of years, but it's still expensive. So that's what I'm going to use this envelope for, all of, like stuff like that. Next up is auto insurance. I currently pay my insurance monthly. The past couple of times we paid it in full, but there was a lot of other things going on that we decided to just go monthly right now for the next 6 months. And I do want to pay it in full for another 6 months the next time the bill is due again. So that is what I'm going to work towards with this one, which I think is due in April. So we have until April to build up that fund. Next up is auto registration, also car tag renewal, but I thought registration sounds better than tag renewal. Again, I'm just, whatever sounds better, I guess. But I actually just renewed my tags. I live in Alabama, so we have to renew it yearly. And I think it was around like $80-ish. But I had to pay an extra fee of $15 because for some reason I did not pay attention whatsoever, and I thought my auto registration or my renewal was due in October because that's when I bought the car and got it registered in 2022. So I did not look at my tags, but they go by name. So my registration was actually due in August, which I'm thankful I was not stopped by the police. But yeah, so we have until August again because I do not want to pay the extra $50 again. Thankfully it is just $15, even though I was like 2 months late. But yeah, we have until August, and that is not a lot, but I still want to have a separate envelope for that. Next up is Christmas. That is self-explanatory. That has a certain date. I usually don't go Christmas shopping until like November, December. So we have some time to build that up. I don't really like the gifts just hanging out at home because, kids are nosy and I don't want them to find their gifts. So I go Christmas shopping pretty late. I apologize for the weird cut just now, but my husband called me. Anyways, the next category is dental, which I do have dental insurance. I actually just got dental insurance like a couple months ago. And they do pay for like regular things like cleanings, but I definitely want to build this up because there is some stuff that I want to get done, like my wisdom teeth pulled. Like they don't bother me and they've been out for like years, but I feel like they do shift my front teeth a little bit. So I do eventually want to get them out, but I also know that it's very expensive. So yeah, we'll work on that. Next up is emergency fund. We do have a regular savings, but this is like specifically an emergency fund, which definitely came in handy this year. We helped out some family members, and it's just really nice to have a separate, emergency fund without touching our actual savings. So yeah, that was nice, and it's always good to have. You just never know what happens. Next up is hobbies. That is a new to us category, and the boys didn't want to play sports now. My boys are 4, 6, and 8. So they didn't want to play sports this year, mainly because they're a little bit shy when it comes to, meeting new people. They're fine in school, but, they're around them all the time. So when they found out that if they join, like, not after school program, but if they join, like, something outside of school, that they have to meet new people, and they weren't really fans of that. But they are interested in sports, especially soccer and basketball. I don't really want them to play football as of now. I know that at that age they probably play like flag football, but it's not like I don't want them to play football, but football is a pretty violent sport. So, they're still little, so, but of course if they want to, they can play. But anyways, I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, the hobbies are expensive. You need to pay a fee, of course, to just have them join, and then they need clothes for practice, and then the gear for actual games and stuff. So I looked at the price, and that times 3, if all of them decide to play sport, is going to be a bigger amount, I feel like. So I am definitely going to start saving for that for whenever they want to play a sport or whatever other hobby they want. Next up, we have medical. That is, for medical expenses, which is just so expensive in the States. Let me tell you, as a foreigner, it just baffles me every time. I went to the hospital in January, beginning of this year, and the bill that I got was just out of the roof for just a few hours in the emergency room. It was insane. But next category we have is moving. As I mentioned earlier, we actually just moved a few months ago, but I don't know if we are still renting, so I don't know if we're going to move next year or if we stay at least another year here. I don't know. Like I said, we really enjoy the boys' new school, and the district and the area here is really nice, so I don't know. But I feel like it's always good to have this category because you never know what could happen, right? I see so many people just, not being able to renew their leases and stuff like that. So I feel like this is kind of like an emergency fund. It's like, just in case you have to move, because moving is expensive. And if you have to do it last minute and get all the funds somehow, it's very stressful. So I want to have this category just in case. Next up is another new category to us. This is transportation, and this is mainly going with travel, which is coming right behind it. But I feel like I never really put into consideration if you have to rent like a car or Uber and stuff like that. So I feel like it's nice to have a transportation category specifically for, transportation purposes. And then we have travel, which is obviously a bigger category that entails the flights, hotels, and all of that. So that's just an overall travel category. Maybe one day I'll do like a travel binder with everything that has to do with the travel, like the food and all of that. But for now, this is just going to be an overall like category. Next up, we have vision. I do wear contacts and glasses, but I have to get new contacts every 6 months. I do the reusable ones. Are they called reusable ones? I don't know what they're called. This is the foreigner in me. Sometimes I just the words just don't come to me. But yeah, I buy mine like a 6 months supply. I don't get the daily ones. So that is, something I need to save up for every 6 months. And then the last category in here is YouTube. This is for future giveaways or everything that has to do with YouTube. If it's like a new camera I want to invest in, a new microphone, stuff like that, that has to do with YouTube related things. So those are all of the more long-term sinking funds that either are going to have a higher amount in there or that have a specific date, which I hope that makes sense. And I explained it so you guys understand. And then the last thing that I have is this binder right here. This is going to be the savings/investments binder, and this one does not stay open like the other three. But yeah, this is mainly a category where I don't really take out money. This is just basically just going to sit in there and build up for the most part. So the first one I have right here is business. This is mainly for like taxes and all that stuff. Usually I keep that in my business account because I do have a separate account for my business stuff, but I don't know. I wanted to have this category in case I decide to, you know, take out some money, or if I need some extra money for supplies and stuff like that. Again, I usually just keep all of that in that account, but you know, I still made that envelope in case I decide to change my mind. Next up is investments. It's just for general investments. My husband and I really want to get into investments. I feel like there's just so many, you know, different things, and yeah, I don't know, but we will look into that. Next up, I have life insurance. I really want to start building that one up. And then I have all of my kids, which is Gabriel. They all have their own separate savings accounts. Then we have for Josiah, and then the youngest is Micah. And then the last category in here is 1 month ahead. Technically we are 1 month ahead already, but I want to get another month ahead, if that makes sense. So yeah, I will talk more about that in my cash stuffing. But yeah, I also want to have some challenges in here. So I have this divider from a planner press just to divide everything a little bit. And then I want to have the challenges in these envelopes because I feel like they tend to get a little bit thicker. So I don't really know what challenges I want to do. I have to kind of like shop around. Probably going to do the $1 or $5 challenge, and then like a 26-week challenge or something like that. But I'll look into some challenges that people sell and then go from there and then add them here. But for now, they will just be empty. So that was short and sweet. That is like our investment / savings binder. I am going to add these budget sheets in all of the envelopes. I'm probably going to do it off camera because that is a very hideous task. I can show you how it looks though, in case you are interested in that. So we have household right here, for example. So I'm just going to put that in here. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I actually made these envelopes a little bit bigger than my old ones that I had. Just so it's a little bit easier if you have a lot of bills in there, and it gives you some room. But yeah, this is the budget sheet, and then this is what the bag looks like. Obviously they are frosted, so but you can still see it. But that's how I'm going to put them in here. And then again, if you saw earlier the tips category, this is how much bigger the envelopes are. So I think it looks really nice and gives you some more wiggle room to, like, you know, maneuver the money and stuff, because if they're small it can be quite challenging sometimes. But yeah, I'll add the budget sheets off screen because that would just take a long time. I am going to add two of my, what are these, placeholders, because there is a couple of categories, which is Christmas, and also I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do have them all, other than the daily cash. The daily cash I have by priority pretty much, but all of the other envelopes I have organized alphabetically because it just makes more sense to me and I can find them all more easily. But yeah, Christmas has $1,000 in there actually. That one was fully funded a couple months ago, so I can add that in here. I'm not going to take that out. I'm just going to start new and build that up again for next year, because I am going to go Christmas shopping soon. But yeah, the other one is travel. Travel actually has $500 dedicated for travel in there right now, because we did have some smaller trips throughout the year, so we have to build that back up again. But yeah, that's what that looked like in there. So that was it. That was all of my new binders. I am so excited to finally use these. I've been looking at them for a few days now, and I've just had time to film this video, but I cannot wait to use them. I hopefully will have a cash stuffing up next week someday. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I have to work out some more kinks again since we are basically starting fresh with all these envelopes. But yeah, I'm really, really excited. And because I'm probably going to get that question if I'm going to sell envelopes, if you like them. I know there are a lot of people out there that sell envelopes. And I was thinking about it. So I might have like some spots, like a limited quantity of orders that I can fulfill, because I mentioned I do have a sticker shop and that is a lot of work in itself. So I might have like a limited quantity, but if I do, I will make a separate video about that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more of my budgeting journey, then please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little and we keep track of time.